Michael, are you there? I think you've got permissions to unmute yourself.
Thank you very much.
Hey, Michael.
I will start my share in a second.
Okay. So yeah, Michael, for those of you who haven't heard him speak before, he's a lead security architect at Tufin, responsible for security and security development lifecycle. So he's been in the application security field for many years now, and spoken at various different conferences. But yeah, Michael, I'll hand over to you.
Okay. First of all, let's start video, and I will show myself. Okay. I need to open my camera also. So, hello everyone. I'm trying to put my. Wait a second. Can you? We still can see you.
Yeah. If you share your screen, I'll probably disappear.
Okay, share screen. Great. Can you see me?
Yeah, let me just, I can see your screen, yeah.
Yes, great. I just have my OWASP t-shirt, but you will not able to see my face. So you'll be able to see it now. And welcome to my presentation. Thank you for joining and thank you for staying so late. This presentation and the research was prepared by me and Anat Mazar from Tufin. Anat Mazar is security champion, but she has decided today to do something better. She has decided to give a birth to a baby girl. So Mazal Tov and congratulations. So today, instead of OWASP Meetup, she has a new baby. Okay. And any case, it's the presentation from both of us. Okay. What we'll see today, I will try to make it shorter, and because it's background is clear, background is XML and XML entities. We'll talk about what is XML external entities. We will understand how to prevent XXE attack in Java, and we will see even a better way. Before it, let's couple of minutes to spend on, let's talk about Anat. Anat have a couple of years in engineering, about 1 year security champion in Tufin. Security champion in Tufin, it means that security in a R&D development team and pushing security to every development. Okay, we have security champion in each developing team. Couple of words about personality, board games, movies, and travel. Also, a couple of words about me. I have a lot of years in application security. I have more than 6 years as lead security architect in Tufin. And you can contact me via LinkedIn or via Gmail. I do like to publish about security. You can read my blog, read my post here, or follow me on Twitter. Also, a couple of words about me. It's I like to travel, to read books and listen to music. This is a picture from the previous year. We don't have any updates on this year due COVID-19, and I hope that we will be able to update in the next year. So let's start, but before it, about Tufin, it's market leader in security policy automation. We have a lot of customers, and we help the customer to segment network and connect application in hybrid environments. In hybrid environments, it's like network, firewalls, cloud, and Kubernetes. And we are help to create policies in each of these environments. Okay, it's a great company. Now let's talk about XML. XML is extendable markup language, and it's designed to store and transfer data. But XML tags are not predefined. Okay, so what is XML entity? It defines the shortcuts to characters of words. It can be internal, external, or predefined. This is example for the internal entity. You have entity name, and then you need to provide the entity name. How do you use it? You need to provide ampersand entity name and colon, And then during the parsing of the XML, the entity will be replaced by the value. Similar external entity. External entity just configure system, and then you configure system identifier. The usage is similar, ampersand entity name, and then during parsing, the value will be replaced by the system identifier. Of course, you have couple of predefined entities like later, grantor, etc. But what risk posed by XML entities? If an attacker can include some hostile content, then it's possible to do some attacks, like read the local file, like send the data out. Let's try to understand what we will be able to do with what happens if we will parse this file. If we will parse this file, you see, you will have access, and during the parsing of the file, the parcel will read the local file. What will happen parsing of this file? You can find that we have external entity that points to some HTTP request. Similar, during parsing of this file, what will happen is the parcel will execute the remote HTTP call. So it's like the flow of an attack. If an attacker will be able to send you XML with hostile content, the attacker will be able to get your local file that you protected very well with OS permissions, but still an attacker will be able to gain it using XXE. So why it is dangerous? Because, as I said before, you can steal your password file. When I see it first, I say, wow. And how dangerous is XXE? You know, we are familiar with what is OWASP Top 10. We are in OWASP Meetup. So it's number 4. It means that it's very high severity, very high severity of this issue. It's like 4 from the top. So we need to handle it. So let's see OWASP A4 in a nutshell. It's just copy paste from the original site, from the OWASP site. And an attacker can exploit a vulnerable XML processor if they can upload XML or include hostile content in XML document. Okay, and you can find here the list of attacks, and from my point of view, most problematic that an attacker can access to a local file and to send it out from the server. How can we prevent an attack? To prevent an attack, you need to disable the processing in all parsers. You can open this cheat sheet, very good cheat sheet of OWASP, and you will see how can you disable this XML processing for all parsers. In C, in Java, we don't have time to look all examples, and we will see 2 options how we can prevent it in Java. From our understanding, it's the most common way to parse XMLs in Java. It's JAX-B unmarshaller and JAX-P document builder factory. Okay, and for both cases, for both options, we will show first of all the way that is suggested by cheat sheet, and then we will show you how can you do it in a better way. Let's go. Okay, this is an parsing of XML with JAX-B unmarshaller. You just allocate JAX-B unmarshaller and you unmarshal. Let's see it in a real example. We have created a couple of classes. Okay, let's. This is an example of XML with entity. Okay, we have entity and we have message, and now we have usage of message. And what will happen or when we run this file, this parsing. Okay. You will see the message Wakanda forever. That is the value of the message entity. What will happen if we will parse this file when we have an entity that HTTP call? Let's try to run it. Okay, you see the HTTP call was successful. You can see the time zone JSON. You can see the time now, okay, and the zone, etc. A lot of information, time zone. It means, but let's do the next one. The examples that will show me wow. You can find here the access to etc host. It also should be very protected file, but it's possible to access it. Okay, you can see my host file on my computer, and you understand that it's once again it's possible to steal the file, to send it out using additional XML entity to an attacker. So once again, wow. The similar example, I will not run it here because it's a Windows server, but on Linux you can access to HTTP to password file. So now you do understand what is a XXE attack. Now let's try to understand how it's possible to prevent it. The good news that unmarshalled is prevented in Java 8, but in case you use old JAXB versions 2.5 or below, your application will be vulnerable to XXE attack. During our we have prepared examples. We have used JAXB, the old JAXB, just to show you the XXE. But if we will use the standard Java and we will try to execute the same access to Windows, okay, let's wait till Great will compile the file. Sorry, now, okay, you can see, oh, unmarshalled exception. And you see, it's not possible. And okay, restriction. So if you use the standard Java, you're protected against XXE attack in unmarshalled. But maybe you have to use JAXB. Then in this case, maybe you can upgrade. If you upgrade JAXB to the next version, it will be the same. Okay. Okay, it's also protected. But maybe you have application that cannot upgrade JAXB, okay? And you need to use old JAXB. Let's see if you still have options to play. Okay, yes, how to do it? You need to configure according to OWASP cheat sheet, as we discussed below. You just need to configure SAX parser according to the cheat sheet. You need to set a couple of entities that will prevent processing of entities. Okay, very important. The prevention will protect in a single place of code. Okay, but you can do. We have created pre-configured safe source. Okay, and just you can use safe source and even use old JAXB. You will be able to protect. Let's see in our example. Okay, you can see here safe source here according to OWASP cheat sheet. Okay, and if you will try to run it, okay, so you have empty, the result empty. You just don't the properties that we show before. It's a configure parser don't to replace XML entities, and the similar if you will try to do it in Windows, okay, it will same. The result will be empty. You don't have any entity. So simple way how to protect against attack using unmarshalled, but maybe I have a better way. Yes, After some investigation in digging into Java and JAXB code, we have found that it's possible to add two properties to configuration files that, that depend on your system, like Catalina in Tomcat or whatever. I don't know what Java. And most important, it will prevent in all places. So let's go and let's take these properties and let's configure, in our case, it's two unmarshaller, like a read vin file and external call. And let's try to execute external call. You will be able to see that not possible to execute. Very important. But let's back to the presentation. I've shown one, but once again, you place it only once and protect all places in your code. Okay. So additional options that how can you do it? You just need to put, if you can do it, but you can put JAXB content in your jar and put the correct context. Not always it is possible to do, but it protects all places in a jar, all places where you parse your file, your XML file. Okay, so now we have finished the prevention in unmarshaller. Let's try to understand how to do it in document builder factory. People, it's also very common way how to parse XML files. Okay, let's see the similar examples here. Okay, so if we will run it, okay, you can access the same XML, different way of parsing. You can access the HTTP call, and same if we will run this one, you will be able to run it and to access to host file. So wow, once again, wow. I will say wow a lot of times during this presentation. How we protect it against this attack? First of all, you can configure document builder factory according to cheat sheet, okay? And but maybe it's a better way to protect using pre-configured safe document builder factory. Okay, we have it here. Example, if we'll go to same document, you can find here all properties. And if you will run it, let's run the Windows one. Okay, you can find that it's disallowed. You cannot access because we cannot process XML entities. But once again, do we have a better way? What do you think? The answer is yes. Also, once again, we have digged into Java code and document builder factory code, and we have created for you safe document builder factory. You just need to configure these properties, and we'll show in a second. And most very important, it will protect on places in the process. Let's do it. I just copied the property. Okay, go to my process, and I just add the property to here and to here. Okay, and let's try to run access to. You see, only by putting properties I have protected against XXE in all places. Additional advantage if you use some third-party library that tries to process XML file, then you cannot configure this third-party library according to OWASP cheat sheet. The only way that you have to place properties. And as I said, maybe it's also valid for this way. It's also, if you use some third-party library, then this property will let you prevent XXE attack in third-party library that's not possible with standard cheat sheet. And it's good that you stay here. You can see something that still does not appear in cheat sheet. Maybe we will have time to update it, but now after your meetup, you will be able to protect your code against XXE in better way that allow you to configure it once. So maybe you have a question, what if I need to use an XML entity? Oh, in this case, you have to add input validation for each XML entry. And of course, you have to validate before an XML parsing. You need to take XML as a text and to somehow to take this message, for example, in this case, you need to take and to ensure that in Vacando forever you have, for example, only alphanumeric characters. If it does not include, if you have some additional characters like HTTP or file, you need to reject it. I think I have finished. Before I will go to summary, you will be able to find here the links to the sources. Here you can find the link to XXE protection. Okay, you can use utilities that we have shown in the demo. And here's the demo itself. Maybe you want to learn with XXE to test your XML, and you are more than welcome to use it. All sources is Apache 2 license. You can do whatever you want with the sources. Okay. Summary. First of all, you know what is XML External Entity, and you understand now how XML External Entity can be used to implement attacks. And also, you understand how can you solve XXE when you parse XML in your code for each place. And I was happy to show you the solution, the better solution that allow to prevent XXE once at all using system properties. I want to thank you for your time. You can contact us via LinkedIn or via Twitter, or once again, I was welcome to read my blog. Thank you very much. And now I hope I have time for questions.
Yeah, thanks so much, Michael. That was great. I've unlocked people unmuting, so if anyone wants to ask a question, they can unmute and ask a question, or alternatively, they can post it into the chat here. Just while waiting to see if anyone picks up the baton. So just to check, I understood that. So effectively, you're using the Java properties to basically tell it, look, if you're going to do parsing, then don't use this library. Use this safer library that will not allow the entities. Is that right?
Yes. If you, let's say, for example, you have started to create code, and then you use some third-party library that in the implementation of third-party library, it starts to parse XML. And since it's parse XML, then it's potentially, potentially it's open for XML External Entity attack, for XXE attack. How you can prevent it in third-party library? You need to contact the provider, and you need to ask to provide the way to configuration, and need to provide the page that will prevent XXE. Okay. Now, if you will put in your Java configuration, this property, okay, and then it will prevent from third party to parse DTD or XML external entity. So you will be safe against XXE attack. Of course, if the third party library use document builder factories, that is a very common case. We have a lot of libraries that use document builder factories.
Fantastic. That's really useful. Okay.
Additional questions? Okay, you can, once again, you can contact me later or not, and we will happy to answer your questions, or you please grab the source and use it. Thank you very much. Thank you, Josh, for organizing it. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Michael. Appreciate it. And yeah,